One of my favorite things in the whole world when I watch a movie is when the main character has come to a place where they found their courage. And they're anxious, but they're gonna do it anyway. And then they go and they do it, and it doesn't work perfectly. But it was so much better than being backed into a corner and being afraid. And after they did it the first time, something in them changed forever. And it isn't that the fear is necessarily going away, but it's that they know the path to overcoming the fear with courage. I recently watched a man get in front of a group of people, and I rarely sit in the front row of much of anything, but I was in the front row and I was close enough that I could see his jaw like shaking. He wasn't comfortable being in front of the room. And when we got done, I was like telling him, dude, that was so awesome. I was so proud of you. I love being there. And I love the fact that even though you had the fear, you did it anyway. And I'm proud of you. Like, that was awesome. I loved that. I loved every second of it. You did a great job. And he was relieved that it was over. But you tell me, if he did it the next week and the week after and the week after and the week after, do you think that he would continue to tremble? No, he wouldn't. One courageous action followed by another courageous action, followed by another courageous action, yields a courageous life. And so I'm gonna step into some of the things that I use when I'm coaching people, and that I've used in my own life, because I'm just like everybody else. I've had those moments of great anxiety and fear and feeling helpless. And when we get into these spots, I was in a class several years ago, 25, 26 years ago. And they had talked about what they called secondary emotions. And the guy made the comment that people don't walk around angry, generally speaking. Usually what happens is something happens and they interpret it a certain way, and that certain way results in a feeling that because everything is so tight, they wind up assuming that feeling is accurate, right? And another guy that I listened to made the comment that sometimes our emotions are so strong that they seem self-evident. That was Tom Bilyeu that made that comment. And so there are these times when we feel victimized. We feel like we're being singled out and picked on, when the reality is that isn't our situation. And nothing makes people feel more angry, more commonly, than when they're feeling victimized and helpless, and that somebody's stealing their lunch money, or that they're being singled out. For me, one of the things that for the longest time was, I would, if anybody did something that would be like what I would say an attack on my competency, it would, like, immediately I would have a sense of anger, because I felt that was, I don't think that that's anything that you should ever do, is attack people's competency, even though a lot of people, it's all too common. It's an all too common go-to for people to control and manage other people. When in doubt, demean them. When in doubt, when you're feeling scared, you need to poke that sore spot and get them back into line and goad them. And so anyway, I'm going to jump into the content. That was a heck of a preamble to get into the content. But courage is often required when we wind up in a spot where emotionally we're anxious about a situation. And a lot of the time, conversations, it is the funniest thing, because when a lot of us think back and we think about a hard conversation that we had, whether it was somebody that came to us or we went to them, having the conversation wasn't nearly the big deal that it was to start the conversation. If you rated the amount of anxiety in the conversation to the amount of anxiety leading up to the conversation, they're dramatically different numbers. And so that's a really great point for us to reflect on the next time we're getting ready to have a difficult conversation. And when you show up and you have a conversation with somebody, and you show up, and it's not like there's a whole bunch of, hey, I got something super important to talk to you about, and you build it up to be something enormous. You just come up and say, hey, you don't actually say the words, hey, I'm an adult and this is what adults do. We have difficult conversations. You just walk up and have a conversation with that kind of playing in your head. Hey, this is what adults do. We have difficult conversations. I was talking to somebody a little while back, and they were struggling with a part of their job, and they felt like they were disappointing the boss. They felt like they were always like guessing. And I told him that, in my mind, the best way to get this out in the open is to ask what the expectations are. What is it that you want me to do? I'm trying to take care of what you want, but I'm unclear. And it's that lack of clarity that was causing him a lot of anxiety. And so that anxiety was leading to taking twice as long on the project because he was second guessing everything because he wasn't really clear. I also told him that, hey, you know what? The boss has things that they're trying to get done. They have an outcome that they're trying to get done. And whether it is that you don't understand what they're saying, or that maybe they never communicated it, you need to put yourself in a position where you're like, hey, I'm trying to be helpful. I want to help you accomplish your goal, which is creating stuff for a marketing campaign. And I feel like I could do this faster and better if I was a little more clear on what you want. If you can get it across to the boss that you're on their side, because they have expectations that are put upon them. And if you show up, if somebody says, I'm thirsty, if they hand you $5 and say, I'm thirsty, and you just dart off and do something random and you come back, you need to communicate. If you're not clear on something, you need to communicate. And so whatever that fear is, you need to dig and back it out and reverse engineer the thing so that you're more clear on why it is that you feel that way. Today, I covered two different things, two different situations where people were afraid. One where a guy was uncomfortable being in front of a group of people, but he had a mission that was more important than not doing it, than the fear. The fear was conquered because he had a mission. The other one, the guy, in the same way, he had something that he wanted to do, and he just couldn't figure it out. And after he figured out that, hey, you know what? His boss has a story too. And he was able to empathize with the boss and say, hey, you know what? You have your own goal and agenda, and can you help me out? Because I want to help you accomplish your goal. How can you resist somebody that wants you to succeed? And that became the story. But my point is that the feeling that we have of fear, we have to examine it. We have to figure out what the story is behind it, what it is that we're actually afraid of, and then dive in to figure out a more powerful story, a story that will help us to go do the things that are courageous. I'm Adam Funderburg, the owner of highcalibercoaching.org. And on this channel, I would love to see some comments below with some situations or circumstances that you're struggling with that I can help out with. I'd love to shoot a video where I dig into something that is a real live situation and where somebody's stuck. I love helping out. That's most of the reason why I'm doing this. So leave comments below and subscribe, because we're cranking out videos a lot and we're here to help. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.